everybody. In this video, I am in beautiful Zionsville, Indiana. And this video is going to get into some of the reasons why I feel like it's the sneakiest or sort of secret suburb of Indianapolis. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group, and welcome back to the channel. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Indianapolis or any of the surrounding areas, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap the little bell, so you're notified every time I do a new video each and every week. Now, we get calls and texts and emails from people all over the country, all over the Indy Metro, with questions about all the areas that we cover, the suburbs and in the city itself, different neighborhoods. And if you have questions about any of those or need help with your move or relocation to Indianapolis, then be sure that you reach out any way that you know how, because we absolutely love it when people do reach out. We love to answer these questions for people and also help them with their move. Okay, so like I said, in this video here, we are going to cover Zionsville. Everybody in Indianapolis knows about Zionsville, and I'd say it's a pretty well-known place across the country because it's a very highly rated place to live. It's been in the top 10 in the country as far as small towns to live in multiple times and in different sources. But in Indy, I feel like it's sort of the sneakiest suburb that exists. There are so many suburbs around Indianapolis, and Zionsville, without a doubt, is one of the nicest, but it seems to be overshadowed a lot by some of the other suburbs that are out there. So why I feel that way and why a lot of other people feel like it's the secret suburb, we're going to get into the reason really why that is right here at the end of the video, so stick around for that. So Zionsville, it's roughly 28,000 people or so it's not a big place, and it's growing. It had about 14,000 people or so in 2010, but a lot of that growth came from an annexation where Zionsville just picked up a lot of area and added to it. So it picked up a good portion of its population there. But there's still quite a bit of new construction in Zionsville, and it is growing. It's just not growing at quite the same rate as a place like Carmel or Westfield or Fishers, especially Westfield and Fishers on the north side. So even though it's fairly small at 28,000 people or so, the demand for living here is still pretty high, and we see that in the median home price. There are a lot of really nice homes here, and it falls right around $369,000. And it can climb, of course, well over $1 million, but if you want to get into Zionsville, under $300,000 is just pretty much impossible to do. And if you get into Fishers and Carmel and Westfield, under $300,000, it's pretty difficult, although it might be a little bit more doable in Westfield and Fishers. But Zionsville, it's just brutally difficult to do. And that is for several reasons. And one is that it is still fairly small and the demand is really high. And the houses, for the most part, are unique. When you get down into some of the newer construction homes, then they may not be quite as unique as what you'd have right in the downtown area of Zionsville, but it's in very high demand. So of course that's going to push the prices up. Another reason those houses are so incredibly expensive out here, or at least relatively expensive compared to some of the other suburbs, are the schools. Zionsville community schools are very highly rated in the state, usually in the top 10, get a niche.com grade of A+. So that's something that families especially are looking out for. And even if you don't have a family, it's something that can help solidify your resale value. Now, Zionsville is a really unique place, and when you visit Zionsville, you will certainly feel that. Now, it was laid out in 1852, so it's been here for quite a long time, and a local railroad ended right here in Zionsville. And actually, the name Zionsville, it comes from a pioneer settler named William Zion. Abraham Lincoln also made a stop here on his way to Washington, D.C. for his inauguration in 1861. He made a whistle stop where he stopped here and gave a speech. So we know Zionsville is a popular place. It has a lot of history. If you just look at a lot of the houses, and especially in the downtown area of Zionsville, you can get a feel for that and know that it's been here for quite a while. But the thing I think that makes it the most unique, and the thing that makes it the sneakiest of all the suburbs, or kind of the secret suburb, is its location. Now, its location is extremely unique. So in order to get a better understanding of the location, we got to take a look at the map. Okay, here we are looking at the map for Zionsville. Zionsville, of course, is right here outlined in the red. Over here to the east, you have Carmel, which is actually most of this area, and then we get into Fishers over here, with Westfield being up here to the north. So Zionsville is really unique And one of the things that gives it that small town feel is some of the, I don't want to say isolation, but that's a little bit of what Zionsville has. So this is 421. Getting onto 421 will give you access down here to 465, and you can get to a lot of the major highways from there. You can get to downtown as well. You could go west over here to I-65 and get downtown in about 30 minutes or so, as long as traffic is not terrible. But if you look, let's just say over here at Carmel, you have 116th Street, you have 106th, you even have 96th Street down here, and then you get up to Main Street, which is 131st, 136th, 146th. It is really pretty easy to get from one side of town to the other, and it's pretty much the same thing when you get over here into Fishers. But that isolation of Zionsville over here does make it unique and helps to maintain a little bit of that small town feel. So if you look closely, there are some waterways going through Zionsville, and this is actually Eagle Creek. And if you were to follow it on down, it eventually ends up down here in Eagle Creek Reservoir. So getting from one side of town to the other in Zionsville can be a little bit tricky. You can see a lot of the roads through here, they're not exactly perfectly east-west and north-south. They're actually kind of all over the place. And when you get down here into downtown Zionsville, a lot of the roads are really tight, really small, and that's about as much as the east-west, north-south as you're going to get. So if you have to get from one side of Zionsville to the other, there aren't a lot of really direct ways to do that. A lot of curvy roads, a lot of roads with turns, and it keeps people going fairly slow, but it also adds a little bit of time for you to travel from one side to the other. So that could be something that you like, because it does add to that feel of Zionsville being a smaller town. And it's roughly 28,000 people, so it's not big as it is. But with that geographic location and just the way things are arranged, it's going to help preserve that over a long period of time. So that might be for you. And then again, it may not necessarily be for you. So you can see on the map that it's pretty unique geographically. It's not like Westfield or Fishers or Carmel on the north side, which honestly are really pretty easy to get to, and they're pretty easy to get around in. You've got long stretches of roads where you can get from one side of the city or the town to the other relatively fast, but in Zionsville it's a little trickier, and I think that could be an inconvenience for some people. In fact, I know it's an inconvenience for some people, but it can be great for others. So if you want a place that has that quaint, small town feel, Zionsville could be for you. But that small, quaint feel is actually preserved by its location. So if it's something that you're looking for, it could be a great fit. But if you're looking for really super easy highway access, you've really only got I-65. And to get to that, it's not too bad, but to get down to 465 any other way or any of the other major highways other than 65, it can be a little bit tricky. It really can. I mean, it's kind of pocketed back in here in this really unique geographic location, almost on purpose. So some people really love that, and some people, it doesn't quite fit them and their lifestyle all that well. So whether Zionsville's location is a good fit for you, or you need the homes in Zionsville, if you need to know that or want to know that, then you got to reach out. So be sure that you call, email, or text any way you want to get a hold of us, and we can help you out with making the decision as to whether Zionsville is a great place for you or not. So until the next video, we'll see you later.